It seemed to take forever to reach the red dirt turning. When it finally came into sight, I saw that my path was blocked by a whole herd of black and white cows. I stopped short, and as if on signal, they all turned their heads at once to glare at me. I stood stock still, my heart banging against my ribs. The animals switched their tails, twitched their ears, chewed their cuds, and swiveled their jaws. The one nearest me ran its long pink tongue right up its nose. Oh, if only Aunt Aggie were here, I thought. She'd know what to do. I'd seen her elbowing her way nonchalantly through a herd of cows lots of times. She had told me repeatedly not to be afraid of cows because they were too dumb to even know that I was a different species. But those big brown eyes looked smart enough to me. So I waited and waited, and they stared and stared. Finally, after standing still as a statue for ages and getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, I decided that the only way I could outsmart them was to cross the creek. So I took off my running shoes and began tiptoeing through the icy, marshy water. Suddenly, a stinging pain shot through my leg. I looked down, and there, stuck to my leg like long, slimy blobs of glue, were two transparent pink things with red and blue veins showing through. Bloodsuckers! Vampires! Draculas! All the terrifying stories I'd ever heard about leeches tumbled through my mind. One leech can drain all the blood from your body in 10 seconds flat. 2 of them can do it in 5 seconds and leave you dead as a doornail! Screaming like a banshee, I bolted out of the creek and flew around the turning, great clouds of red dust pluming up behind me as I raced for the house. They got me! They got me! I shrilled, streaking into the kitchen like lightning. I pointed to my leg, which seemed to be shriveling up before my very eyes. Eek! Screeched Aunt Ida, jumping onto a chair and pulling her flowered skirt tight around her legs. Beatrice Myrtle Thompson, get those filthy things out of here this minute! Do you hear me? In answer, I let out a blood-curdling scream, which brought Aunt Aggie and Grandpa galloping in from the far corner of the potato field. One glance told Aunt Aggie what to do. She grabbed the salt cellar off the table, unscrewed the cap, and doused my leg with salt. The greedy devils devouring me writhed and wiggled like frosty dewworms, but they wouldn't let go. So my brave Aunt Aggie, completely ignoring the fact that she could be sucked to death in 5 seconds flat, pinched them off with dirt-stained fingers and flung them out the door. There, Bee. She gathered me to her chest. You're all right now. Then she looked up at her hoity-toity sister, still perched up on the chair. Get down from there, you silly jackass. For a second, there was dead silence. Then Aunt Aggie and I burst out laughing, and even Grandpa couldn't help but join us. Ever after that hectic day, Aunt Aggie was my hero.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though, as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Where's my golden ticket? I want my golden ticket! Oh, yes, here it is! As soon as I told my father that I simply had to have one of those golden tickets, he went out into the town and started buying up all the Wonka candy bars he could lay his hands on. Thousands of them he must have bought.
hundreds of thousands. Then he had them loaded onto trucks and sent directly to his own factory. He's in the peanut business, you see, and he's got about 100 women working for him over at his joint, shelling peanuts for roasting and salting. That's what they do all day long, those women. They just sit there shelling peanuts. And so he says to them, "Okay, girls," he says, "from now on you can stop shelling peanuts and start shelling the wrappers off these crazy candy bars instead." And they did. He had every worker in the place yanking the paper off those bars of chocolate, full speed ahead from morning till night. But 3 days went by and we had no luck. Oh, it was terrible. I got more and more upset each day, and every time he would come home, I would scream at him, "Where's my golden ticket? I want my golden ticket!" And I would lie for hours on the floor, kicking and yelling in the most disturbing way. Then, suddenly, on the evening of the 4th day, one of his women workers yelled, "I've got it, a golden ticket!" And my father said, "Give it to me, quick!" And she did. And he rushed it home and gave it to me. And now I'm all smiles. And we have a happy home once again.